But let's see if you can see everyone. But yeah, today it's very chill. People can go discuss their strategies. People can also do whatever. If you have any ideas, you can post them into the chat below, and we can talk about it. Oh, and here's Bovard. So wait. Oh wait, you're not on screen yet. Also, I think you're muted, Bovard.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. Can you guys hear the other guy, Bovard here?
Hi, everybody.
I also just realized the stream delay is like incredibly long. I say one thing, I hear it about like 10 seconds or 20 seconds later. Oh, you guys have less delay. Nice. Cool. Oh, let me make this screen smaller. My screen is huge. Let's look at a couple random matches. Does anyone have any like fun matches they want to watch? Oh, actually, I know there was a fun one. Someone sent this in the meme channel. I don't know how this happened, but this is two completely different teams. But they did this. I'm not sure how this is possible. But you have two different teams, Gavran and Nuno Ferreira, and look how the bot
Can
plays.
you share your screen? Stone, so I can see.
Oh yeah, you can't see. What's that now? Try screen. Okay, yeah. So this is one interesting match, I guess. Someone shared a while back. You have two different bots, and well, they play the exact same. I'm not sure how this happened. I guess maybe they use the same notebook, but this is very interesting. You can see them going for wood, coal, and uranium. I don't know what rankings these people are though. It's hard to see, but yeah.
Symmetric mining made that possible. This game brought to you by symmetric mining.
That's true.
Symmetric mining. Confusing, but now we have games like this.
Yeah, that's true. I think maybe in the future we might not do symmetric mining again because that was just difficult. Yeah. Let's see. Any particular matches to watch? I guess we can watch top ones. Those are usually like interesting, quote unquote. But we can see like a wide range of like strategies. So let's look at Tiga's bot. I think Tiga's in the chat right now. Let's look at your bot. Do you want to commentate on your bot? You can type into stream chat if you want. We can look at how you're doing. Seems like you're always losing against TBD. Maybe we can look at this one. So here we have a very small 16 by 16, a ton of wood and no other resources. I assume this is going to be a complete demolition.
Can you make that screen just slightly wider and then the thing will full screen?
Yep. Oh, this broke. Tiga says not always. What do all the timestamps mean in the submission window? That's just when the match played. So I'd play like 4 hours ago, 12 hours ago, 1 day ago, etc. This is about as big as I can make it, I think. Oh, actually, I can do this. This is smarter. Oops. For some reason, this keeps reloading itself. I'm not sure why. Let me try this again. Yeah, so these timestamps here, an hour ago, 4 hours ago, this is when it ran. Will this run this time? It should run. There we go. Oh, this is too wide. Make that a little smaller. And there we go. Yeah, streaming's hard. Anyway, Taylor, do you want to explain your strategy in this chat? Let's see, what do we see happening? So we see both teams are aggressively going to the middle, both crossing to each other's half, and they all lost their initial. Yes, I'll zoom in. My bad. They both lost their initial bases. Oh, they built them back. Looks like they
maybe
both
slow it down just a little bit.
Yeah, I'm gonna slow it down a bit.
By the time you say something, they've already done it and moved on.
Yeah.
So let's look at the opening because that's super important. Do you stay at your base of trees? Is there
we go.
a bunch that you go to?
Yep. So it looks like both teams aren't really doing much with the trees at the bottom. Oh, now they're building stuff in the bottom corners. So this map is mostly about like whoever can just, I guess, mine out everything for everyone else. Because it's really too small to really keep anything alive, and there's not a lot of coal and uranium in this map.
You think keeping the trees alive would be extra important on small maps, so like that cluster.
See, that's what I
blue
believe
south
too.
There.
But that's
If
clearly.
you kept that cluster alive,
Mm-hmm.
you
Yeah,
have a
that'd
huge,
be
like,
infinite fuel.
advantage.
Yeah, I don't know if either team does kind of let trees grow. I know someone was saying that Toad Brigade, the top, well, it's second team now, they're not top anymore. They actually did some optimization there, but I don't know how strong. Yes, I love my background too. Yeah, I'm not sure. I think the general consensus for meta is that it's not a good idea to conserve trees, even though. But the thing is, I feel like if you surround it, you can optimize a little bit. Let me see if you could optimize it. So like if you're looking at here, and if you don't know what we're talking about, if you're given a configuration, let's say these 4 trees, and then you encircle it, the other team can't take it anymore. And the other thing is that these trees will regrow each turn. So if you look at this tree, it has 360 wood. Well, it went down. Does it ever go up? So like for example, if you leave it alone and don't mine anything, it will go back up. It'll regrow trees. Each wood is like 1 fuel, and you can use that to try to fuel your cities for a long time. Is the stream lagging for anyone else?
Here, like, you've got this round is blue. Your research points, you've just got the coal age. And you know you have to rush off to get coal. I guess you are behind on research points though, so you kind of still want to cannibalize your cities to get more research points. Like spend all that wood to get an extra burst of research points.
Well, I
so
wonder.
Maybe it still is optimal to do that.
Let's see what happens at the end. How many? Oh, there's still quite a lot of cities at the end. I'm always arguing, like, if you look at just these 2 patches, if you put a city tile around each patch and just kept all of them alive forever, so that'll be 1, well, let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then another 8 cities here on just your half, and then deliberate, kind of just demolish everything. That's 16 cities total. That will win you a game if you just kept those 2 alive and even it just ignored the uranium or anything.
Well, you can't ignore it because your opponent would then take all of it, but
well, the other thing is you could also just maybe block off the uranium. Because I think the opponent taking uranium didn't actually gain much benefit from it. Either team didn't get much out of the uranium. Because if you look at the uranium, it's like, what, 50 units, 40 units for fuel? I mean, it is quite a lot of fuel, but do they mine out the whole thing at the end? Oh, they do. Oh, well, I don't know. Hard to say. Maybe it's a small thing. Yeah, so people are saying the stream is lagging once I started sharing my screen here. Maybe sharing 2 screens is too hard.
Yeah, you could just show the game and not show our faces.
Yeah, I mean, I want to see if I can. Here, I'm gonna stop presenting to you real quick. Let me try to present again. A window. Oh, a tab. I can do this. This is faster. Ignore all my tabs. There's a lot of things going on. Okay, I think that should be working now.
I can see.
Cool. All right. Is the screen flickering for anyone by any chance? It's actually flickering for me really weirdly, but as long as it's not flickering on stream, it's good. Anyway, let's look at another match. Let's look at our top agent. Maybe let's see if they're playing against not any better.
And let's look at the first like 10 turns this time and see like how different they are.
Sorry,
so
look at what?
There's an optimal. Look at the first 10 turns.
Oh yeah.
Like
so let's look at Toad Brigade against TBD. For anyone's reference, I have no idea what TBD means, but this is from Tom Vanderweel, who won Halite last year. People are saying his team name TBD stands for Toad Brigade Destroyer. And he has usurped them. Okay, apparently my streaming is like 3 to 4 FPS. That's not good. Okay, but I'm going to temporarily stop streaming. I'm just going to see how hard it is.
Sure.
And also, can we turn off the cameras? Maybe that'll be better. For now.
Yeah.
Alright, can you guys tell me how fast the stream is running now? It should be faster, hopefully. And let me play a game, and let's just see how fast this is right now. I turned off the video and I turned off sharing. Better? Okay, let me try to see if I can just share. Maybe it's just our video is causing an issue.
And I think you want to like full screen just the player.
Full screen
So
that?
Yeah.
All right, let's try that.
So, and then that's the only thing that the graphics has to render at that point
Okay.
for the stream. But it might be sharing. Yeah, let's zoom in and see the first few turns here.
Yeah.
So what do you think is going to happen before we start it?
Well, most strategies, they mine out a little bit here, and I think they're going to, once they build two cities, they'll probably send one worker down to the bottom rung here. I highly don't think anyone's going to go to the top resources here, but we can kind of see. Right now, they're both going the same direction, building one city, doing the same exact thing. But now they're both, oh, blue team's a bit more aggressive here. I don't know who won this match, but it looks like blue team is the one who gets to the bottom resource first. And it looks like orange team, TBD, is heading up to the top, I guess.
Yeah, he said no one would go up there.
Well, I thought he wouldn't make there by time. Like, I think that worker's gonna die. Oh wait, it has wood in it, so actually it'll survive.
Yeah, it has 100 wood.
Oh.
It can stay out for like, what, 3 nights?
Well, that's interesting. I guess this is one tactic, which is when there's far away wood clusters, you can put some wood in your workers early on, which you could build a city with, but instead, you can now take that, walk across at night, go to a far away cluster, and own it. And it looks like this strategy is working out well for orange team. They're going to quickly
TBD's got that, but then you can see that Tigga is kind of invaded with that lone worker. It's being fought off pretty well. That's good.
Yeah. And it looks like Tigga also is going to reach Coal Age first, which means that he can start kind of just supplying his cities that are originally quite early. So his original city here.
That invader worker is going back to the coal.
Yep.
In the middle there. Going to build a very dirty coal city.
Okay. Okay, apparently it's still lagging. Maybe I just need to stop sharing the screen for a bit.
Yeah, maybe the screen share isn't gonna work.
Boovar, is it possible you can watch it from the stream instead? I know it's gonna be a little bit laggy.
Yeah, I can give it a try.
Okay, I'm gonna try one more thing. The other thing is I'm gonna try share screen on my smaller monitor, because this is my big monitor, and it's very large. So let's see if I can just do... Let's see. Can I do a display capture? Okay, I'm gonna quickly do another thing. Add new scene. A new source. Let's do displays. Browser source. Browser. Oh, that's not right. Sorry, give me a second. Gonna try to.
So what was it? I'll talk while you try to figure it out. What was interesting there? I thought that so Tigga took that blue worker to kind of try and take over TBD's outpost, but then TBD kind of did this round successfully, and then the blue worker got repurposed, and they said, "Oh, okay, I see that I'm almost researching coal," and went right for the coal thing. So that's pretty good. That's some pretty advanced behavior. I know a lot of, you kind of have to figure out how long it's going to take to get there, how long you're researching. So yeah, it's a cool thing to see that.
Yep.
And look at that optimal city placement.
Where?
Right in the middle. The city's surrounded by 4 coal towers.
Oh yeah,
the worker can sit on there and power that city forever.
Yeah, but that's not really useful because you're going to need more cities there. So I don't actually know what happens to that city. Actually, I want to see what happens there. Does that city ever... Oh, it just dies.
Yeah, because the worker left it.
Yeah, I guess it wasn't that useful. I'm actually very interested to see that Tigga didn't actually take ownership of the middle at all.
Right.
The orange team came back later, even though they researched coal much later. So if you look at when they researched coal, Tigga researched coal maybe like 5 turns, 6 turns earlier, but... Sorry, yeah. But didn't do anything with it, which is very curious. Why did nothing happen? Maybe not enough wood? Or maybe they didn't want to build coal cities? They built 1, but didn't build more. Okay, I'm just asking stream. It's a little bit better than before. Yeah, so it is nighttime, but I almost think, I'm trying to think, how is Orange team able to come back though? Because Tigga, the reason why I was gonna mention, if you look at this state here, right, you have this giant city here. Could you not feel this one? Because you actually lose the city eventually. So I think that was quite suboptimal. Oh wait, actually no, this is before the coal age. Never mind. No, actually no, you had enough coal then. Oh, you just missed it out by a few turns.
It was the night right after.
Right, okay. So Tigga just missed by a few turns on this giant city. So that might have been the turning point in this game. Because that's very unfortunate. Yeah. Yeah, and then once you put a worker back, they can't bring anything back. Is there any benefits to research at night? Just a note, you should always research. You should never be doing anything but not research. Researching at night or day is the same thing. So you just get a research point each turn. Every turn turns. But yeah, that's very unfortunate. Yeah, I don't really know. Given the fact that this coal is in the middle of nowhere with no wood around it, I don't know how any team is actually able to get a lot of cities around. It seems like TBD is actually just solving it by building coal cities, so cities out of coal, which is possible, but very fuel inefficient. But it seems like, oh, sorry.
At the northwest, that lumber camp that TBD took over, right in the middle.
Yeah, I see that one.
With the 14 trees in there.
Mm-hmm.
That's a pretty good advantage.
Yeah.
That's probably what allowed them to come back.
Probably, yeah. They can fuel the cities around there and then go back to the middle. I don't know, very interesting. I still kind of think that someone should have done some cart. Move the cart to the middle and then build a giant city.
Definitely should build carts. That unit's OP.
No one uses carts. I know Tigga kind of used it at one point, but I think he removed it in the spot. Let's look at some other teams. This is a relatively new team that kind of made it to the top. We can kind of look at their bot and see what happens. Let's see. Oh shoot. Okay, that is not working. Okay, I'm gonna try another thing to reduce stream. I'm gonna just turn off a lot of applications. See what happens. Oh, this window's not working. Let's see, can I... Alright, let's try this. Let's see, hopefully this works better. Okay, and then let's see. Bavard, you can still hear me, right?
Yep.
Alright, we have this screen up. Alright. Let me slow this back down. We can go ahead and commentate this. I'm gonna try to fix stream a bit. So this is Toad Brigade and
I can't see it now.
Oh, you can't see it still? Oh, sorry. Let me try sharing it again. Window. Sure. Alright. You see my screen again?
Yep.
Alright, let's try this again. Yeah. So this is another match.
On the tab.
Yeah, let me try sharing as tab instead. Give me a second.
Tab is slightly better, I think, because it doesn't run through the mouse.
Yep. Okay, do you see the tab now?
Yes.
Okay, I'm just gonna play it.
So this is Minky R versus Toad Brigade. They both expand to the middle about the same time, but it looks like Toad Brigade is expanding up to that northern forest. And there's a lot of contention in the middle, but Minky looks like they're getting slightly... No, I think they spammed out cities quickly, but they lost all their workers in there. So that was that's probably going to be a game decider right there. I think they probably lost 6 or 7 workers in 8 cities or so. It's interesting, the workers, once they enter the city for safety at night, basically can't leave unless there's a resource next to us. So you can't bail yourself out of those situations very well. And looks like Tote Brigade hits uranium, but there's not a ton of uranium on this map. And they have a lot more map control, so I'd expect them to pull this out. Another scuffle is off to the west side there. And it looks like, again, Toad Brigade got a good surround on all the trees. All their workers are on the trees, so they're mining a lot more of that wood. I wonder what they put on that city right there, though. That was interesting. All the way on the west side.
Oh, and actually, they actually conserve the trees. If you look at the top one, they've been growing this tree for a long time. Just see the 4 trees at the top, they actually never remove them. Although they are actually unable to fuel them, but they only lose that cluster at the top once someone else comes by. But that 4 trees up there has been forever. Do you see how long it's been there? A long time.
Yeah, and I think, do they allow their cities to die at night?
Yeah, they do. Yeah. They do. I don't know if they ever let them live. Oh, they actually don't. But this is also still useful. They let them die each time, and then they only mine enough so that you can rebuild enough of them back. So it looks like fueling them is still not good for them.
Yeah, at some point, once they hit 200 research points, right, you want to change from this, like, let's have a ton of cities, especially when you know the end of the game is pretty far away. So they have this tree cluster, the end of the game is far away. Having a bunch of cities out there right now doesn't make a lot of sense. You have those 4 trees. You can sit with the worker on there and just wait for the enemy to come and then build up your wall, right?
Yeah.
Because building those extra cities when you hit 200 research points doesn't matter until turn 350. So those trees are hit like max.
And this is very surprising. Well, you can actually see that cycle. Every night cycle, their city's count goes down by a lot.
Yeah.
Which I want to say is inefficient, because this is actually what caused them to lose. They kept going down, 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 cycling to the point that they went just 1 city below Minka R. I really feel like something is inefficient here. You know, like, if somewhere in the middle they just kept with all the cities, mined out everything, just delivered to 1 big city, they might have survived. But otherwise, right now, they're just building a ton of workers, all of them are dying.
That's a flush right there. Yeah, the battery concept's pretty cool, though. Basically, you treat the wood as a battery, and you kind of conserve it for as long as you can. They're just doing a slight overbuild, I think.
Yeah, and then blue team's a bit better here. They're actually more conservative. They actually try to keep everything alive. You can just look at the city growth here. Not so crazy.
They go oh, did they pull it out at the end?
Yeah, they won. Blue team won by 1 city.
Oh my goodness. That early game, I thought it was going to knock them out for sure. Like, go back to that turn 60.
I mean, they're absolutely, like, losing. Well, actually, no. They have... Yeah, you can also see that they're actually using the fuel to fuel the cities. Orange team does not do that at all. You can see how much generated fuel. Like, just 100.
Yeah, so here, like, blue is in, and they are contesting this middle forest, but somehow things go horribly wrong, and you can see they lose all the cities and all the workers.
Yep.
Which is the worst of both worlds there.
Yeah, but this is very interesting. We see, like, 2 top strategies. Well, Toad Brigade has a strategy that seems to work more often, which is demolition, where you delete everything, don't fuel your cities at all. He starts eventually fueling them later, but this actually turns out to be quite useless for him. As you can see, he has no more cities left to fuel, so stagnates. Another thing that I think it's interesting is that, I don't know. I'm just looking at the fuel generation graph. It's much more like a step function for Minka R, whereas for Toad Brigade it's much more smooth. I don't know what this exhibits. I mean, I know the step function is because of the night cycle, so they only fuel during the daytime. But it seems like Toad Brigade is always delivering things at night, and that's why the fuel generation is still happening at night, which is quite interesting. Yeah. Interesting bot. One of the very few bots that actually tries to keep the cities alive. I think Love Deluxe is actually an imitation learning bot. We can actually take a look at this. So there's a couple solutions. I know the person in third place right now is rule based. The person in first place says they are rule based. The team in second, I don't know what they have. Let's see. Yeah, so this team has an imitation learning bot, which could be very interesting. So let's watch what they're doing. See how they win games. It seems like I think they download replays for just like the top bot and just train the bot. Okay, this map might not be that interesting. It's just all wood. I want to see how they handle research and all that. Let's get a bigger map. Let's see. Oh, this is very tight. I don't know if this is that interesting. Just massive mining.
I mean, the first, again, on those small maps, it's the first 20 turns where you basically win and lose the game.
Yeah.
The smaller the map, the more the early game matters.
Hey, here's
wow,
another
this
game.
is a really interesting map. Look at all that uranium.
Yeah. You have all this wood next to it, so if you maybe save it, you can build cities next to the uranium. Potentially.
And yeah, who's gonna rush over here? Like
over where?
Like across the chasm, because the wood's kind of grouped.
Yeah.
On each side of the map, right? And you could send someone over to try and take your opponent's wood, but if they have good defense, you end up just kind of not doing a whole lot.
Well, it's looking like blue team is much more aggressive here. Orange team is very conservative. They haven't expanded to any wood cluster. They've slowly moved to the bottom. Blue team just lost all this stuff.
Yeah.
Orange team also lost all the cities.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So blue team does go on the aggressive. So they should have a little bit of advantage if they can take over that wood, or at least contest it successfully.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks like they might be the first to expand to coal, which they are.
Yep.
They hit that significantly faster. Perspective.
Yeah. I wonder if they're going to use this coal to fuel any of their original cities, because they're all dying out right now. Oh, nope. That just completely died.
Yeah, they just rebuilt it with coal.
Yeah. And this is actually a good city group. If they can keep this alive until uranium maybe, which might be soon, this city will basically just live forever.
Yeah, because it's already on the uranium. I guess you kind of have to decide.
So just see.
It.
Oh, they didn't keep that
especially
alive.
once you start losing, losing coal and you're just down to uranium city building is very inefficient.
And Love Deluxe, the imitation learning bot, is actually doing a very good job of actually keeping this one forest tile alive. They're actually continuously building new cities out of it. I don't know if they're using that wood to build cities in other regions, but they might be. Now that they have uranium, they can keep this one city to keep it safe. And
look at that, yeah.
Yeah, they are optimizing the wood regrowth with the 2 workers to continuously mine it.
Right. There's just like 2 stewards of the city defending it against everybody else. That is super cool. And this is a learning bot, huh?
I think they're imitation learning. Maybe some of it is imitated learning, and then the rest of it is maybe rule-based. I'm not sure. But they're the one that published that imitation learning code, which apparently did pretty well. So this imitation learning one, when running on GPU when they changed it, got them to a score of 1400. Actually very curious, how long did this take to train? I think someone said a couple hours, which is quite fast. So this is, what is this measuring? This is 1 epoch, is probably evaluation maybe. It's about 1 minute each. Is this seconds? Yeah, this is seconds, and there's a bunch of minutes. 15 minutes? Oh. It looks like they trained quite fast. It might have been just 15 minutes. Well, 15 minutes got them to here of training. Quite impressive. And it looks like all they do is they have very few kind of rule bases. Like the only rules they have is that this might be their actual bot, I'm not really sure, but it looks like their imitation learning bot is the cities are hard-coded to build units and research basically. And then the workers, their actions are decided by a neural network model. It looks like they're getting action like this. Very interesting. So the neural network model produces a one-hot encoded kind of output vector, or you just take the argmax, I guess. So it's probably like the probability of moving north, south, west, east, and building city. which is very interesting. And this is quite good because actually their bot is able to learn to actually just mine stuff and bring it back. Or if not mine stuff, at least just mine everything. I'm not sure if they actually bring anything back. Many if statements, yes. This is actually very interesting. Actually, I don't think the imitation learning bot actually learned to bring wood back anywhere. So if we're looking at, let me just look at the city growth. Yeah, they never fuel their cities, or rarely. If they do, it's by accident. And I think that's a result of the lack of exploration. The fact that an imitation learning bot might have a very difficult time of figuring out how to teach an agent to return fuel back to cities. So it seems like this is what's happening, and actually, and this is what's interesting. This is why some machine learning models might work. Basically, if it's the reason why ML models might work is because the direct optimization problem was a decent bot already. A direct optimization gives you like a score of like 1400, as you see on this thing. You're basically directly optimizing for mining by copying, I think, the imitated Toad Brigade, which is basically just pure demolition of the whole map. Anyway, interesting. I'm actually curious to see how long they get to feed off of this wood. And all the other question I want to see is, do they take this wood and build more cities elsewhere? Where does uranium?
Yeah, and you see, like, Perspective had that worker right outside the city gates, outside the wall. And I wonder, when you're trying to invade a city, that's probably some interesting code. Do you have enough wood to last through the night? If their city dies, you can jump in there.
That's true. You can intrude.
A bunch of workers died, and then their cities built a bunch of workers. Oh, yeah. And their cities don't even die. They stay fueled up. Wow.
Yeah. Let's see.
How much upkeep is all those cities? What is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
It's 166.
Okay. Oh, right.
Yeah.
So, yeah. 4 trees at max could keep
yeah, that's
going.
pretty good. I guess the only thing is that you can't really take wood out of here, really.
No, you should.
There is, it's not really a bug. I think we just left it in, but you can chain transfer things. But it depends on unit ID.
Across the city?
Yeah, so what you can do is, if you have an older unit inside the wood cluster and you have a newer unit that just spawned, you can transfer to the new unit, and the new unit can transfer to even newer unit. And that transfer will work, and then that wood will not get deposited into the city tile.
Oh no, is that going to be the dominant, like...
I don't think that's ever going to happen, because no one does this kind of encircling anyway.
I don't know.
It's highly unlikely that chain transfer works well. But people I think someone's asked about it. I think Tiggo's the one who mentioned it. I didn't realize it was a thing, but we kind of just left it as is. But I don't really expect it to be a make or break difference in this game.
Yeah, and chain transfer happens as a single turn because basically you say I'm going to transfer to this unit, and it executes the unit in ID order.
Yep.
Per turn. So if ID 1 is transferring to ID 2, it transfers, and then ID 2 transfers to ID 3. So you can go, if you had 50 workers and they were lined up in ID order, you could instantly transport in one turn as many resources you want across the map.
Yep. Actually, I want to see if there's any new agents.
Well, up to carrying capacity, obviously.
Who are some latecomers? Hard to say.
There's the one with 101 submissions. Should look at that
101. Wow.
181.
They submitted like every day. Oh, and they beat the top bot once. Wait, I want to see what happened here. So Bison, they beat TBD. And they beat an old bot of his. There's no way that's his current bot.
Right.
Well, we can still look at it, but let's see. So this is very kind of edge-centric map. Everything's on the edge, nothing's in the middle. Everyone is just trying to mine out everything. No one's protecting anything. Go as fast as you can. Looks like Team Bison basically just got uranium earlier, and they started fueling everything. They probably could have fueled that city there. I don't know. Like, I still think people can always use carts. I mean, obviously at this level of game, you probably need to write a lot of code to use carts.
Well, if you get to 100 wood or 100 uranium, and even just taking a worker with 100 uranium provides a significant amount of fuel.
Yeah, you probably could have fueled this for days. Like, this worker here should not be here. I mean, obviously this is like a weaker bot, so probably they didn't code that. I want to find that video of someone actually using carts. There was an old replay of someone using carts. I want to find it.
There's one more game. Put on the game while you're waiting.
Yeah, which one?
The person had 181 submissions. Let's check out theirs.
Okay. This team against someone that claims that they're using neural networks.
And zoom in just a little bit.
Yep. That's good.
Cool.
Alright, I'll play this.
Yeah, these close starts are interesting because there's a lot of room to really mess with your opponent's strategies and, you know, get yours messed with. And you can see that neural network here is headed right for that huge tree cluster, which is just going to boom their economy super hard, while Mob here is kind of contesting the original spawn and sending a lot of workers down. Oh, now they're going up too. I guess they're not even that far behind, because at nighttime you can't build another city and your workers go slower at night, but you can see Mob's already up at the massive, you know, tree forest up there. So they weren't even that far behind, and they're probably going to take over here because they're a little faster at building cities. But these like forest engagements must be super tricky to code correctly. Do you want to stay on the wood? That seems more optimal than going off of it.
Yeah.
But then you want to build cities. So I guess you stay on the wood until you can see a slot to jump off to and then build.
Yep. Okay, this game might not be interesting anymore. They kind of just mine out everything almost. I had one interesting replay of carts, but I think it's actually on an older version, so I can't watch it at the moment. I need to download the replay again. But yeah. Anyone know any team that uses carts right now, to some extent?
Gotta go down the ladder.
Maybe. It's not super effective.
Wasn't there someone in like 100th place who was using cards?
Probably, but I don't know how we're gonna find them.
The light will guide you, a very thematic name.
Ah, let's see. Yeah, actually look at these names. Some of these are pretty good. Hello, good time. Shapes. A light will guide you. Who's this? Oh, them beating the maybe imitation learning bot. Yeah, instant just going for the middle. Again, no one's filming the cities. Saber. Big map. Let's see what happens. Oh, are they gonna keep the force alive? Maybe not. No, it doesn't look like they are.
So many workers there that don't need to be there.
Yeah, this is a big inefficiency.
Once they step on a city, though, they lose all their resources and they can't go out at night because they'll die as soon as they leave.
Yeah, but this is a big city. Curious if they keep this alive. It seems like with night coming soon, this is probably gonna die.
Oh, and turn order. So I spawn in a city. The next turn, do I mine and then I can move off the city, or do I move and then mine?
I think you mine on the turn you build it, right? I don't remember the exact order. I think
yes, yeah. Either way, you should be able to move off with resources. So let's say you're on a city. If you're at the end of the turn, you'll have the resources and you can move off before they're collected. You're at the beginning of the turn.
If you're on a city, you collect resources first, then you drop it. Sorry, you move first, and then you collect, and then drop resources.
Oh, and then you collect.
So you can never like stay on the city tile and move out. Yeah, that city didn't survive. That's right. That's unfortunate.
All right, so you got us a cart replay in the chat here.
Oh, someone from the cart replay?
Your dream.
Yes.
I told you we should have buffed him more.
Well, we'll see. Tiga and Gavrand. Alright. I think this was the bot that played the exact same as another bot, so that was interesting.
And I lost the.
Okay, who's using carts? Very curious which team used carts. Oh, or Tiga's using carts. Okay. Let's see how this happens.
Again, so.
Huh?
Share the tab.
Yeah, let me click shares again. Where is Google?
And then we should talk about small maps next game. And then I think you have to go here soon, right?
Yeah, I have to leave in about like 5 minutes, but we can also basically announce the winner very soon. But here's the team. Yep.
Zoom in just a little bit.
Yes.
There we go. All right, so why would I have a cart here? Carts might allow my workers to move around a little bit faster, especially if I don't plan to have a lot of cities there, or if the cities die. Do the cities destroy roads when they die? Any
Yeah.
roads that were there?
They lose a level 6 road that's on them.
Oh, okay. So yeah, that's not gonna help too much. If you build the road, then it's gone if you build the city on it.
Yeah, but
I
I would
guess there's a lot of-
expect a road from this cluster here
Mhm.
to
To the
the
uranium.
uranium here. Once they've researched it,
Yeah.
obviously they haven't.
I
so
guess
it's far away.
You can basically think, okay, I think this cluster is going to survive till uranium / I want it to.
Yep.
In order to facilitate that, I'm building a cart right now, and it's going to prepare the road ahead. Ooh, there we go.
So right now
So-
they have a very, very fast road. Basically, units can move on it one tile per turn. And did they get the wood? They got all the coal, but they're not bringing it back. Looks like.
I will ride off the sun with it.
Yeah, all the units mine the coal, but they're not doing anything with it. And actually, and the other thing is that at night you consume a whole unit of coal each turn. Even though
Yeah.
coal gets you like what 40 fuel, you only need 10 fuel at night. Every turn you consume a whole fuel resource, so you see how this unit starts with,
Oh, we're still at 3 coal at the night, aren't we?
or 3 coal or something. But they start at 35 and they all of a sudden go down to 25, and that's a lot of fuel lost while it's just traveling at night. I feel like this unit should have gone back on the road and went back home, but again, just
And coal is 10.
yeah, some inefficiency. So your inefficiency here is like 8 fuel a turn if you don't bring
Oh,
it
sorry,
back.
it's 4 for workers, and coal is 10. Yeah,
Oh.
so you end up burning.
Yeah, so what is this worker doing? This worker's just sitting at night and burning the fuel. Oh, he's bringing it back. So what's also good here, we see that at least they brought the fuel back to fuel this one? Did they? How did this bring the resources back? Oh, it didn't. This might be a bug, Tiga. It didn't bring the resources back.
He said it was an old version, so.
Yeah. For some reason, this one is not bringing the 100 coal back. Interestingly.
Yeah, so I think
now they did.
if you can far enough ahead, so say.
Oh, I think Bovard, you are
Oh,
cutting out.
can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay. Say you have like a stand of trees with the city surrounding it,
Yep.
and it's near a large uranium cluster. The wood can be used to keep building new cities, and then the uranium could be attached to the city using a road.
Mm-hmm.
It's still not that like efficient, but then I guess your workers can just go surround the uranium tile because you only need 1 or 2 workers left at the city,
Yep.
the walled city garden.
I mean, ideally, if you just have a couple roads, that doubles your worker speed already. So it's actually
Yeah.
quite good. I'm surprised people don't use this slightly more because I always feel like in each match, like if you're looking at the top matches, there's too many workers. Like you're better off building a couple carts and getting some speed out of it, I think.
That's a good point. So at a certain point, the utility of a new worker drops enough that a cart might be better.
So if we're looking at this match, for example, well, this one's a bit better. He doesn't seem to build too many workers. But like my impression here is like if you build a couple early rows just to future-proof, right, to the coal, because you know you're gonna get it eventually. Maybe you would have been able to bring the coal back in time to save the city.
Yeah, the only reason you want to bring it back is if there's like wood there, though, right?
Well, you can also just keep the city alive because look at the end game. So how many cities are here? This is a size 8 city. Well, okay, that wouldn't really help you win in the end, but that's about 1/4 of the way to beating TBD's score. So I think a size 8 city, if you just kept it alive, and it would keep researching as well, that might have been worth it, maybe. But even just looking at Team TBD, you could have done maybe some roads, and that would have just doubled, if not double, at least like maybe like slightly improve your collection rate. For places that are not right next to you.
We should call this live stream the cart salesman.
The cart salesman. Yeah,
Alright, let's.
there was a couple of things that happened this match, I guess. We can look at maybe one more, then I gotta get going.
Yeah, let's look
And
at a small map and
yeah.
talk about like
Here we
what.
go.
Here we go, small map.
Perfect.
Zoom in, and go slow.
Yep. All right.
So, what do you think is optimal when you start side by side like this?
Well, first, go to the top. Go to the collect the wood that's next to your opponent. So collect the wood along the halfway line. Because if you don't, then they're gonna collect the wood that's on your halfway line. Then you're just losing wood. And it's kind of a problem of like just map control of where your units are.
Wow, this is exactly mirrored. So
Yeah,
well.
I think in small maps, like it becomes almost like completely optimal to some extent. Like the first few moves, there's only really one thing you can really do. And they diverged a little bit, but almost still doing the same thing. And I would argue right now, Toad Brigade is looking a little bit better because they're intruding into Orange Team's space and just taking their wood. I'm surprised.
Yeah, but once you're full, you don't take any more wood. Like there's that worker that's staying there.
Oh yeah,
has
that's true.
wood,
What is he doing?
And they don't take any.
He should be going back home. Oh, do you know what? I think they're collision. So if we
Yes,
look
you
at
can't
the
get out of there.
errors, and if you haven't seen this property, there's a very, very nice feature where you can look at errors. And we actually see the error. Unit U1, so the Orange Team is actually colliding and trying to move, I think maybe to this tile, and what is happening to U8? Are they trying to move? Actually, I have no idea what Unit U8 is doing. It actually has no warnings. It's just not doing anything. Okay,
Just
well,
chilling.
yeah, that's probably a bug.
Maybe you wait until nighttime. Maybe that is more optimal because you know that your opponent isn't killing their cities at night, and right after the night ends, you can jump off there and build yourself a city. Or the tree's almost out of
Blue Team
wood,
does.
which is what happens. The tree runs out of wood. I'm already at full. I can just immediately build my city
Right, that's true.
on their side of the map.
I think another thing is that you're just taking up space. If you're taking up space, right, well, then they can't do anything about it. But the thing is, I would argue, if you really want to just take away all your opponent's wood, let's just say we replace this one worker here with a cart. Well, let me go back a couple turns. If
You
replace
can just dump it into the cart
and keep mining.
Yeah.
Would someone do that strategy, please? Like, you would just keep mining and dump it into the cart. And because like, the cart is so close to your home city, it's not really a big problem. It'll get there quite fast. And this
That's
this one worker will
cool
just keep
offensive
taking
trick.
away your wood.
Right. They can mine max wood every time and dump it in the cart.
Yep,
And
it'll
that
never
cart
need
can
to
stay
go
alive.
home. It'll never need to go home.
Wow, like a cart worker offensive combo.
Yeah, and then the
It's
thing is,
common.
like, if you really want, once the cart has a lot of wood, you can just keep taking 100 wood out of it and building cities instantly.
Yeah.
I don't know how. Actually, I'm not really sure how good that was, but I'd assume like if you have like 11 workers, you could at least sacrifice one of them for a cart, right? Because the thing is, if you're looking at each worker, none of them are collecting resources. At least a
Yeah.
couple of them aren't. But if you change 2 workers that are collecting maybe like 4 units a turn because of nighttime and they're losing resources, into 1 cart and 1 worker, you instantly be collecting 20 a turn, at least.
Yeah, and the workers stagnate very quickly. You get onto
Yeah.
the wood, you mine 40 or 60 the first turn, and then 40 to 60
Yep.
the second turn, and you're full, and you're not mining anymore.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you put a cart next to it, those trees would disappear so quickly.
Very fast, which would be
into the
good.
cart.
Yeah.
Just giant tree dumpsters. We
Okay.
should call them.
I think for the 12 viewers in the chat, they might have gotten a secret cheat code. I have no idea if this works, but if anyone wants to try it and tell us what happens, let us know. But yeah, this will be it for the stream. Thanks for competing. It looks like we are giving the award to TBD and Tiga, so congratulations on winning Sprint 2. Probably. I don't think Minka R is going to catch up at all. Probably unlikely at this point. So congratulations. Good luck. And yeah, looking forward to the next competition, next sprint. See y'all.